Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday evening, September the 10th. I wanted to update some ETFs and individual names in light of the volatility we have had in the market, and just show where things are on a more granular level. So first, I want to start with the IGV, which is an ETF of software names. As you can see, the components of this ETF are the sort of the blue chips of software. So when things start looking shaky within this group, I think it raises a pretty good red flag with regard to the more speculative names that have been bid up widely over the last over the month of August. So let me show you the IGV Daily first, as far as DeMark counts are concerned. And what sticks out here is the TD sell setup 9, which printed back toward the end of August on the 27th. It was now followed by a price flip. The price flip was outside of the standard 2 to 4 bars, but nonetheless, it happened. And now you can see that there is a TD propulsion exhaustion target, this red line here, at 291.35. That happens to be very close also to the TDST level down line, which is generally considered as the trend support line at 291.87. Just as completed sell setups like the 9 that you see here are supposed to be bullish after a certain pullback. If we were to complete this TD buy setup, in other words, if the green numbers were to go all the way down to 9, it would mark a definite bearish change in tone for the ETF. Switching over to the weekly time frame. As you can see, things are still relatively positive. In other words, still working on an incomplete countdown sell, bar 7, and a new sell setup. So things here look okay. The caveat is that if next Friday the ETF closes below 302.49, this sell setup will cancel, and then things are going to start getting a little shakier even on this time frame. And just to complete the picture, here is a monthly look, and here it is actually rather bullish, still on bar 6 of a sell setup, and no indications that things are changing. So in the short term, it's worthwhile keeping an eye on this. It has been a sector that has driven the market, has led the market up. And if we start seeing some breakdowns in shorter term periods, it may be a longer term warning flag for the market as a whole. Let me now jump to another favorite, which is Apple. I was looking at this one earlier today, and it kind of gave me pause. Oh, sorry. Trouble with the tickers here. All right, we'll take this backwards from monthly to daily. Here again, things look pretty good, although the steepness of this rise doesn't seem sustainable to me. We are on bar 8 of the sell countdown, of the countdown sell, I should say. And that is the reference bar. In other words, here is where you would tend to see a pullback if there's going to be a pullback on the way to completion. We're certainly getting that, and we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. On the weekly time frame, we had reached bar 10, and now we have started a buy setup. Again, the presumption is that we're going to finish this countdown sell 13 unless there is a completed buy setup on the downside. So things still look relatively okay. Now, the one caveat is that here is bar 8, the reference bar. The countdown sell could complete without reaching higher than the high of bar 8. So we may have seen the highs, at least for this particular move over here. And what caught my eye today, when I was looking at it on the daily time frame, things actually look rather shaky. As you can see, price is right on the daily trend line support, the TDST level down support. We're already on bar 5 of the buy setup, which would cancel any outstanding countdown sells that we would hope would complete on the upside. And even worse, no, I take that back. Today, price closed above the TDST level down, so it will not be able to qualify the break tomorrow and Monday. We'll have to see how that plays out. Now let me move over to two stocks that I have been long for a long time and in pretty decent size. Those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I am a long-standing bull on Akamai, and I want to show it because unfortunately things do not look good on the charts either. So I am absolutely taking cover with puts on different time frames. Daily chart, you can see that we are already below the TDST level down, the daily trend line. If we get a lower open tomorrow, it will qualify the break of this line, which means that we should then expect a countdown by 13 to complete. And since we're only on bar 5 of the setup phase, there could be significant weakness ahead for Akamai. This is also reinforced by the weekly time frame chart. As soon as it populates, there you go. As you can see, we have started a buy setup, but it's only on bar 2. This particular TD prop exhaustion target has been met. And if we want to take a peek at the monthly, I actually have not looked at it. Well, even bigger worries, I guess, because we have a completed sell setup, so there should be a pullback anyway, and we have already the price has already completed bar 12 of a sell countdown. I think there is a not insignificant likelihood that Akamai may revisit the low 90s, and so I'm somewhat positioned accordingly. The other name I wanted to show you is Vertex Pharma. Vertex has been a monster for months and months and months. But here too, you're starting to see some significant cracks. So looking at it again, first on the monthly time frame, completed countdown sell 13 over here, and a confirmation of the exhaustion pattern so far with this buy setup having started. Weekly time frame, we're about to complete the buy setup. It's going to be next week if it happens. And this came right on the heels of completing a countdown sell indicator. When things work, when specific tickers react to DeMark indicators on a regular basis, I think it's very important to follow them if you want to trade on technical analysis. And lastly, the daily time frame, which looks even worse. Here is very similar to Akamai. We are right on the edge of the daily trend line, and there is an active buy setup that is only on bar 5. If this line breaks on a qualified basis, it could be serious trouble. There is also a TD line. Think of it as just a standard trend line that has been broken on a confirmed basis, and that now projects down to 207.82. So I think this is consistent. If you think about these names as being part of groups that have led the market during the recent ramp, I think it's worth being cautious because things are beginning to look shaky on multiple time frames and for some very, very important sectors of the market. I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.